And we are live. Hello everybody, live chat. Hello there. Of course it's not fucking live. Of course it's not fucking live. I'm recording this in potentially my new room. Members will know exactly what I'm talking about. I think I've come to a conclusion that I think I'm going to be moving into the room that's next to me because now it's occupied and there's a lot more space. If I was to, this is probably going to be appalling now. But hopefully this won't do it any just. No, I won't be able to do it. I was going to do a tour of the room, but well, there's the double bed. There's me again. Woo! There's a clickbait. And then over there is obviously all the other stuff that you don't give a fuck about. Don't fucking care. Yeah. So it looks like I'll be moving into this room here. Basically, to give you a perspective, this room is approximately triple the size, if not quadruple the size of my bedroom. There. And I'm in the house all alone at the moment. It's a nice, beautiful, sunny day. I want to do this video as quickly as possible and then we can all get on with our lives because last night, not gonna beat about the bush here, couldn't have been any more ideal, really. I got 102 points for those that don't know, which is probably nobody because the majority of people that watch this actually know the story between me and Jason. I did a wildcard. Yeah, but you can't fucking wildcard. You can do whatever you want, and that is something that I do want to talk about. This whole bullshit that I'm seeing constantly now about everybody's just copying content creators, and I'm sick to fucking death of seeing it. And if you are one of them, stop it, because you're not enjoying the experience. Hashtag play your own game, as G-Wiz says. Stop fucking copying these content creators. All right, they're doing really, really well, but you know, if you want to copy them, copy them. But what enjoyment are you getting out of the game? And yeah, from my personal perspective, I had to wildcard. My team was an absolute shambles. I don't know. I know for a fact I was going to do a -4. It would have been, who was it going to be again? So the -4 was going to be for this game week. Definitely Kane out for Darwin. And Fernandez out for Salah, and it would have been Salah captain. And then this, if I show you what the team would have been last week, this game that's just gone without the transfers, without the transfers, but the transfers that I just mentioned, it would have been Kepa in goal, Ake, who got 2 points, Odegaard, who got whatever amount of points he got for Vince and Karma Baby, who captained him. Salah with the captaincy, so that's what, 11 points didn't he get? So 22. Andreas, who got 3. João Felix 2. Haaland with his, I already had him anyway. And then there was Mahrez down there, and of course I've scrolled down too far. Mahrez down there. And Bueno, who got a whopping 3 points across the 2 games, I think. That's it. Again, I don't know what the maths is or anything like this, but it certainly would be nowhere near 102 points. I'm sure somebody will probably do the maths for me. But certainly, moving forward, I am very, very happy with this team. I've already got my plan in place and it's already set up fine for the way it is. I mentioned on the members video yesterday that basically for the blank, double, blank, double, wherever it fucking is, it doesn't really bother me at all, to be honest with you. I've got enough players to cover it. And my only concern with this team was the gamble of Gakpo. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off at all. He managed 4 points across the 2 fixtures Obviously 3 in the first game where he got the clean sheet bonus, and then 1 point last night with his substitute appearance. It was the gamble. I know Firetog captained Gakpo. I know Harbour Boy brought in Gakpo as well. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off. And yeah, it's just a shame, really. But you know, the big major ones for me, the massive ones for me, were obviously Saka coming through as captain with 30 points, Gabriel with 15. It was literally a toss-up between him and Zinchenko. Can ask Dan this. I asked Dan, of the two players, who's more nailed and who's more likely to get attacking returns, and he basically said Gabriel, if anybody. To be honest with you, I think I missed out by 3 points with Zinchenko. I think that was what it was in the end. A whole 3 points. So nothing major missed out on there. Because I know someone brought in Zinchenko. I know, well, I don't know if he's still got him, but Dally Paul had him. Yeah, Zinchenko got 18 points. Gabriel got 15. Trent Alexander-Arnold, of course, with 2 clean sheets and I think 3 bonus points across the 2. If I'm right, he's got 13 points total. Yeah, so he got he didn't get a bonus in the first game, but he got a bonus point last night. I thought he got bonus in the first game. And obviously, with the likes of, like I say, Saka coming through, Odegaard was a big one for me as well. Coming through with 2 goals last night, which is incredible. Watkins, another player. And yeah, I'm like I say, I'm happy with the team moving forward. There are a few concerns, but again, I've got to be careful with what I've got to say, because obviously Jason's going to be listening into this video, and I don't want him seeing what moves I'm going to be doing, etc. Really, because the gap between me and Jason has closed down. All of 22 points, but it's still 22 points. And moving forward with the like I say, the doubles and the blanks and everything, yes, he's got the advantage in the fact that he's got 2 Brighton players already, and the team itself is set up pretty well for the upcoming fixture. I'll bring up his team here. But the fact that I'm assuming Bueno got injured last night, hence why he's red flagged. I know he was substituted early. I think it was like the 24th minute, wasn't it? Or something like that. But yeah, Pickford in goal. Ben White, Robertson, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Salah the triple captaincy completely. At least he got a return, is the main thing for him. He at least got a return in across the 2 fixtures. I think obviously Jason was expecting more from him. Even though, as we discussed on the stream, you're bringing in a popular transfer player in. I get that, but why are you captaining him for? A player that you've been slagging off for the whole season, and you've decided to not only captain him, but triple captain him. That's when decision-making comes into play here. Obviously, you had Saka and Nketiah with the assist last night. Gnotto hilariously getting just the 1 point because he got a yellow card, bizarrely, by celebrating off the pitch, which is just extraordinary, really. But yeah, unfortunately for him, De Bruyne didn't play the other day. Robertson didn't play last night. Mahrez only played, 20 minutes the other day. So certainly Jason didn't get the luck of the green this week. But he is set up well for this upcoming game week, where he has got the likes of the Brighton players coming on, in the likes of Matoma and Estepinian, although I've just seen that he's yellow flagged. Is there a reason for that? I'm assuming that he was ruled out of the game in the FA Cup, and that's why he's been yellow flagged for this particular game week, because I'm sure that it's just a cup injury. I don't think it's anything serious in that. A muscle injury, yeah, he's fine. But certainly this game week, he'll be playing Ben White, Estepinian and Robertson. And then it will be a midfield, 5 of Matoma, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Salah and Saka. And then up front it will be Nketiah and Haaland, with the captaincy either going on, well, I'm assuming it would be going on Haaland or Saka. One of the two there. Could go on Salah. He has got very good history against Man United. We'll be getting to that in a minute. He's got a good history against Man United. I expect that game to be quite high scoring myself. Certainly. I know in the Members League that those guys, Harry is just continually dominating the top of the Members League. He's 18 points ahead of No Weak Foot. If we bring up Harry's team here, this is FPL Tips with a Z, as I always like to say. Harry, aka on FFF Scout. Jesus Christ. 91 points. He did a -8 though, but he brought in 4 players at the end of the day. But more importantly, it's his rank. His rank is just in fact, I'll do the advertising for Harry. Just copy Harry, go to his deadline streams, follow him on Twitter, because that's the way people are playing, just following the strategies of content creators. So sorry, Harry, everybody's now going to copy you, mate. He's 2,490. Fucking hell, 2,496. I think I'd rather be 4 places lower just to be 2,500th exactly. But anyway, that's a bit of OCD for me. But certainly his -8 consisted of, if we look here, Patterson, De Bruyne, Shaw and Kane. So blank, blank, blank and 6 points versus Tarkowski 0. Salah 11, Trent Alexander-Arnold with 13 and Darwin with 2. So what's that? And he captained Salah as well, of course. That's 22, 35, about 37 points. So 29 points up on the deal, give or take. And certainly, if he'd have captained one of the Arsenal boys, which again I understand from Harry's point of view why him in such a high position has gone with safety first. I do appreciate. I respect that, as hypocritical and as patronising as that sounds, coming from someone that's 1.2 million. But certainly, I think Harry should have had the bollocks to captain one of the Arsenal lads, specifically Saka. Both Saka and Odegaard are in form at the moment. They had 2 really favourable fixtures. But again, I fully appreciate the fact of why Harry's done this. And of course, this upcoming game week, he's got the likes of Trippier and Rashford on the bench. So he'll certainly be going back to his 3-5-2 formation, where he'll have White, Trent, and I'm assuming Trippier. But he may play Tarkowski, because this usually used to happen with Burnley. Whenever Burnley used to play one of the big boys away from home, and funny enough, it was Arsenal quite a lot of the time, they'd always get battered. So when I saw it was 4-0 to Arsenal, I was just like, yeah, typical Dyche. Typical Dyche. And yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'm expecting that game against Nottingham Forest to be either 0-0 or 1-0 Nottingham Forest. It's as simple as it gets. So actually, maybe Harry could, because the Man City game against Newcastle is literally going to go one of 2 ways. Either Newcastle are going to continue being this really, really tight defensive machine, and it will end up being 0-0 or 1-0 Man City, or it will go in the history's favour and Man City absolutely destroy Newcastle. Like I said, average scoreline is about 4-1 to Man City. And certainly, Harry doesn't want to be having Trippier sat in his team with 0 points, while Tarkowski's got a clean sheet and bonus 2 in a 0-0 against Nottingham Forest. So certainly looking at it here, it'd be Tarkowski, White, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, Odegaard, Saka, Salah, Mahrez, Rashford, and then Darwin and Haaland up front. However, obviously, Harry being a content creator, he's probably wildcarding. And that certainly means that his team is going to be completely changing this specific game week. And certainly he'll be having the Brentford, the Brighton boys. So the Brentford and Brighton boys will certainly be in that team. And, of course, the likes of maybe Salah have been removed, Darwin have been removed for the likes of Tony. Mahrez could be out of the team, Odegaard could be out of the team. This could be completely all over the place by the time Harry's deadline. So his deadline's going to be at 10 o'clock on Saturday. So go over there if you want to do a wild card and copy him, because that's what everybody else seems to be doing, because they can't think for themselves. But in fact, Jason was the one that made this point, actually, to be fair, where we were talking about the fact that I've just put him no weak foot's team up on the screen. He was 20 points behind, 18 points behind Harry. Yeah, you feel more. This is no weak foot's wildcard team, so he wildcarded as well. Shouldn't be doing that no weak foot. You can't be doing it. What are you doing? Wildcarding game week 25. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? But yeah, it's the feeling of that was all my decision making, and it feels more of a payoff that I've done that wild card and this is what's happened, rather than I copied a content creator and yeah, I got the same points as them. Wow, yeah, great, move on to the next game week, don't really care. It's where the passion comes in from me and Jason. It's where it comes from. Own decision making, and certainly with no weak foot's team, Alisson in goal, Trent, Tarkowski, Alex Moreno not playing. Okay, I'm playing a minute, but Salah coming through, Odegaard, Saka, Bailey, Nketiah, Haaland and Watkins. And then on the bench, he's got Estepinian, Ben Mee, Raya and Rashford. So he'll be playing Raya this specific game week up against... they're at home, aren't they, to Fulham? Yes, in a 0-0, 1-0 Brentford, 1-0 Fulham, something like that. But certainly, yeah, he'll be playing Raya in goal, and then it'll be Trent, Ben Mee and Estepinian, the back three, along with Salah, Odegaard, Saka and Rashford, and Nketiah, Haaland and Watkins up top. However, the fact that he's got two yellow flag players in his team, which they should be fine, Nketiah and Estepinian should be fine, but the fact that Arsenal are playing so well without Nketiah, and they've got Martinelli, Trossard and Saka seem to be playing this wonderful 3-4-3 formation where these two are just interchanging with these three interchanging with one another, and then it looks like Saka's been given the usual role of just pressing high up as much as possible and trying to get into the box as quickly as possible. I certainly think that Nketiah could have lost his spot, so maybe that's something for no weak foot to be thinking about in that. Then of course looking over at the YouTube league, where once again it is very tight. We've got the likes of no weak foot's top, Matthew Zaishi is second there, FPL Maestro, very big supporter of this channel. He's right up there as well. But here is Matthew Zaishi's team here, and 103 points, obviously minus the 4, so 99 points. Fucking hell, you actually did some maths there, Steve-O. I did indeed. Doing exceptionally well this year. He is ranked 100. Bloody hell, he's 113,000th. He's Oh, wow, he's fucking miles behind. I didn't even realise that until now. Jesus, he's 62 points behind top spot. Fucking hell. Fucking hell, John. That's mad. No weak foot is dominating that league. Yeah, 103 points, -4. Kane, Haaland coming through, Salah captain. Martinelli, the big one. Martinelli, what an arsehole he is. Of course, it was written in the stars that when everybody sells him, or when people like myself, sick to fucking death of seeing him not doing anything, the second you get rid of him, he pops up with 3 goals and 6 bonus points across those 2 fixtures. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. But that is fantasy football for you. And I'll tell you something else that is fantasy football for you, is whenever a popular player or a popular captain pick in a game week, i.e. this week, Salah, doesn't really do much, watch them do something the following game week. I'm pretty certain Haaland was the same, wasn't it? We all captained him, I think, against Nottingham Forest. Does nothing. Following week, when no one touches him, 10 points. I think it was the same in the double game week, wasn't it? Man United and Tottenham. He got a whopping 8 points. Following game week against Wolves, 17 points. So Salah up against his favourite team, Man United, Jason, that's when you should be triple captaining him. When he gets a goal, and when he gets 2 goals in a 3-2 loss or something like that. I'm giving it to Liverpool though, truth be told. I'm going 3-2 to Liverpool. And obviously we had 2 individuals in the top 4 in the YouTube chat league, in which the likes of FPL Maestro came through, and with his Saka captaincy, and the same as John Harris as well. And here is Maestro's team there. But he's another one that's probably going to be wildcarding because he copies content and creators. Can't think for himself. That's a bit of a disservice, to be fair. Jordan's very good at the game. But as you can see, he went with the Saka captaincy, which is brilliant on him. I'm really happy that that came through for him. Same with John as well. To be honest, John was another one that he decided to go with that Saka captaincy against the grain of Salah captain. And it paid off. It paid off, as you can see here. Okay, an overall total of 94 minus 8 is 86. Again, your maths is coming through today, Steve. Normally it's pretty shit. But yeah, unlucky with the Robertson. Only 1 appearance point there. But I'm assuming John's going to be another one that's going to be wildcarding this specific game week. But yeah, we are slowly moving into this extremely tight fixture schedule as we move forward. And certainly the likes of Ben Crellin, he is obviously doing outstanding work at the moment where... Well, let's get real here. He's putting together what the likely blanks are and the likely double game weeks are, and so on and so forth. I've had a quick look at it. Again, I'm all relatively set. I always say this, like, are there teams that I really can give us? Like, take Brighton as an example, Brentford. Yes, I'll be bringing in 2, maybe 3 of their players for it. So it's a double game week at the end of the day. But the reality of the situation is that... I'm not desperate for them. It's going to be very interesting to hear all this Tony news, but apparently they're not going to be holding anything until April. So Tony's still going to be available. Well, there's all this conflicting news stories that maybe he's available, whether he's not available, and all this. But certainly, in Tony's case, or from our point of view, I think that Tony is going to be playing for the foreseeable future. Well into, maybe not into next season, but certainly he will be right in there where he'll be playing in this double game week is a simple example, for sure. For sure. I think he came out with a statement, didn't he, or something, that he's really disappointed with the way everything was dealt with. But yeah, I am, with like, say, double game week 29, I gave my thoughts in a video, didn't I, the other week and everything, and I said about the fact that, you want to be looking at Leicester or West Ham. I know Blonde in the Discord members chat, she made a point about do we want to load up on these particular teams that are in a relegation fight and everything. And the reality of the situation is that I look at the specific players and I just go, well, maybe a couple from West Ham, a couple from Leicester, Harvey Barnes and Maddison at most, Jared Bowen and maybe a defender from West Ham. That's about it, really. If you want to go for a punt in Danny Ings, go for a punt in Danny Ings. But I'm not really too fussed with that double game week 29, because when I look at it here in front of me, so obviously we've got game week 26, and then in double game week 27 we've got Everton versus Brentford, horrible tight game. You've then got Man United at home to Southampton. Well, there's your 3-0 against Southampton. You've then got Southampton at home to Brentford. Well, Brentford to win that 2-0, 2-1. Brighton at home to Crystal Palace again, 1-1, 2-0 Brighton, something like that. And then Brighton away at Leeds, where I can see that being potentially a high-scoring game. And certainly the likes of Matoma is a very good captaincy option, Jason. But then you come to the blank game week. Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Brentford, Leicester, Southampton versus Spurs, Wolves, Leeds, Chelsea, Everton, Arsenal, Crystal Palace. I personally own in that. So Aston Villa, 1 player. Brentford are potentially have 2, maybe 3. So let's just say 2. So that's 3 players. I've then got Southampton player, 4. A Chelsea player, 5. 2 Everton, 6, 7. And then 3 Arsenal. So I've got 10 players for the blank game week 28. And I think it's just a case of going to it thinking, fuck it. Whatever I get out of that game, luckily I will do, but let's get real here. Aston Villa at home to Bournemouth is a very good fixture. Newcastle have got their clean sheet against Nottingham Forest and a dire 0-0. You've then got Southampton losing to Spurs, probably 3-0. So Perraud, he's not going to get any points in that. And then Chelsea-Everton, hopefully Everton can get a 0-0 where I get a triple defensive clean sheets here. But then you've got Arsenal at home to Crystal Palace, which will be a horribly hard game, but Arsenal should come out of that 1-0, 2-1, something like that. And like you say, with double game week 29, Bournemouth, Brighton, Leeds, Bournemouth at home to Fulham and Brighton. You may, if you can be bothered to do free hitting this, go with a Bournemouth defender as a punt. Leeds away at Arsenal, at home to Nottingham Forest. Again, 1 player at most, Gnotto. Brighton away at Bournemouth, at home to Brentford. Well, we've already got 2, maybe 3 Brighton anyway. You've then got Leicester, Aston Villa, where, again, with Leicester's situation, they're away at Crystal Palace and at home to Aston Villa. That Leicester game versus Aston Villa could be quite high scoring. So like I say, Maddison, Barnes, maybe even Ian Aksha, if you can be bothered with that. It was punts. Aston Villa, they are away at Chelsea and away at Leicester. Like I said, there could be goals in that, and I've already got Watkins, but certainly the likes of Watkins, Buendia, potentially go with a defender, but certainly their attacking players look good for that. Man United, of course, great fixtures. Man United away at Newcastle and at home to Brentford. Again, most of us own those players. And then West Ham, home to Southampton, home to Newcastle. I think certainly there's some profit in their defence, if anything. But we're here to talk about the upcoming game week 26. and we'll just quickly go through the basics. But what I will say is that on the members video I did yesterday, I did say that if you want to put £1.50 worth of bets on either 3-1 to Sheffield United or 3-1 to Tottenham or 1-0 to Sheffield United, so £1.50 worth of bets, 50p a bet, you're going to be singing. And or more specifically, you're going to be singing because you're winning. And if anybody of the members did put down 50p on 1-0 to Southampton, congratulations. I'm assuming that would have... Sheffield United. I'm assuming that would have been about 10-1, something like that. So there's your £4.50 profit. Like I said, you owe me £1.50 if you did go through with the whole £1.50. But anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, so listen into those stats regarding the history and more specifically the home and away form. It's normally pretty good with this. Yeah, certainly Man City versus Newcastle. As I stated, really, really tough for Newcastle coming off the back of the final that they lost. As I stated, I think they performed really, really well in that game. They just didn't create many chances. Whereas Man United created the chances that they did and they scored them. And that's what happens when you've got a clinical finisher. And certainly the history is not on Newcastle's side whatsoever. The history is pretty wank, to be honest with you. I'm just going to go through it now. All Premier League. 5-0. These are all Man City wins. 5-0, 2-0, 4-3, 4-0, 5-0. And then this year they got a 3-3. And just to remind you what happened in that 3-3... we had these particular individuals getting the goals and assists. So Gundogan opened the scoring with the Bernardo Silva assist. And it was this match, wasn't it? When Newcastle fucking blew it. So St Maximin got 2 assists for Almiron and Wilson scoring, and then Kieran Trippier scored. And then Haaland and Silva scored in the 61st and 64th minute. That's right, with Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne assisting. Mahrez didn't play that game at all, but I'd expect him to be playing this particular week here. I don't expect it to be a 3-3 this week because, remember, Newcastle can't score. So, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to go with either a 2 or a 3-0. I'll go with 2-0 Man City, but honestly... it would not surprise me if this match was to end 4-0 to maybe even 5-0, maybe 4-0 to Man City. We then have Arsenal versus Bournemouth. This is about as comfortable a victory as you can get. Bournemouth are abysmal away from home. Absolutely abysmal. They have won every fixture barring one. The last time these two played was back in August, 20th of August to be precise, where Arsenal won how much nuclear atoms? Yep, 3-0, well done. Martin Odegaard with a Gabriel Jesus assist. Martin Odegaard again in the 11th minute. And then William Saliba with a Granit Xhaka assist there. And Nketiah did come on for that game. The back four was Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba and Ben White. The front three were Martinelli, Jesus and Saka, but I expect it to be again Martinelli, Trossard and Saka. And again, could they win 3-0 at home to Bournemouth? Absolutely. I am going to be going 3-0 in that particular game. Because like I said, Bournemouth are absolutely pants away from home. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. I do expect Aston Villa to come out on top of this game. Crystal Palace away from home aren't particularly great. This fixture does seem to favour the home team. Only once has an away team got the points, and that was Aston Villa in a 2-1 victory. In the last three fixtures at Villa Park, it's ended 2-0 Aston Villa, 3-0 Aston Villa, and 1-1. The last time these two played, it ended 3-1 to Crystal Palace, and that was also on the 20th of August. Moving on to the next fixture. I mean, I'm personally predicting Aston Villa to probably win that 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. Certainly a relatively high-scoring game. Brighton West Ham. I've already got it in my head, 1-1. And yeah, the history suggesting here a draw. Despite the fact that actually Brighton have actually won the last 2 fixtures, 2-0 and 3-1. Prior to that, 1-1, 1-1, 2-2, 3-3. So there's only been 1 clean sheet across the last 6, and that was in the last time these two played each other on the 21st of August. And the players that scored that day were Alexis McAllister with a penalty and Trossard with an assist from Pascal Gross in a 2-0 victory there for Brighton. Moving on to the next fixture. I mean, me personally, like I said, I expect that to be like a 1-1, maybe 2-1 to Brighton, potentially. Chelsea Leeds. I mean, this is a game that Chelsea have to target to win. If they get nothing out of this game, I unfortunately think that Potter may end up maybe even leaving on his own terms here. But certainly Chelsea do like to score goals against Leeds. An average of 3 goals are scored by a team. There's only been 1 draw across the last 6 fixtures. That was a 0-0 back on the 13th of March 2021. The previous 2 fixtures, it ended Leeds 3, Chelsea 0. Leeds 0, Chelsea 3. Chelsea 3, Leeds 2. And there's also a Chelsea 3, Leeds 1. So certainly the history suggesting a team to score 3 goals here. I'm just going to go with an absolute dire game, and I think that Chelsea nick this 1-0. Southampton Leicester, the evening kickoff. Leicester have surely got to win this. Obviously Grimsby winning last night 2-1. Apparently 2 penalties it was as well. And Leicester like to play Southampton. 3 victories in the last 4. Although, in the last 2 occasions that Southampton have played at home, so they've only played twice at home in the last 6, they've been draws, 1-1 and 2-2. And the last time they actually played each other, it seems that all the games that are playing this weekend were also played on the 20th or the 21st of August last year, at the start of the season. But certainly, the last time these two played, Southampton won 2-1. Che Adams getting both of the goals. It was James Maddison that scored in the first opening goal, 54th minute. Che Adams was brought on, and he scored in the 68th and the 84th minute. My player Perraud didn't play that day. Brilliant. But certainly I'm expecting this to be the other way round. I think that Leicester can do over Southampton here. I expect actually maybe Leicester to keep a clean sheet. Wouldn't surprise me in a 2-0 win. Yeah, 2-0, 2-1. And then the game that we're all dreading. God. Wolves versus Tottenham. God almighty. Well, certainly the Tottenham do like playing Wolves. Last time these two played was on the 20th of August. It ended... Can you guess what the score was? Because this is what my prediction is going to be. It ended 1-0 to Tottenham. A goal from Harry Kane, assisted by Perisic. And that's exactly what I'm predicting for this game. 1-0 Tottenham. Obviously being knocked out the cup by Sheffield United. Tottenham like to play Wolves. They've had 3 victories, all coming to 0 across the last 6. 2 of them being 1-0, the other one being 2-0. Wolves actually beat them 2-0, so expect there to be a winner in this game and to 0 as well, which wouldn't surprise anybody whatsoever. Moving on to Sunday's games. Nottingham Forest versus Everton. I'm already calling it now. Either 0-0 or 1-0 to Nottingham Forest, mainly because their home form has been great. And the last time these two played each other in the Premier League was 1-1. Liverpool Man United. I really do expect this to be a high-scoring game. I think both teams are going to go for it. I expect Man United to be hitting Liverpool easily on the counter-attack, and I expect Liverpool to be hitting Man United on their counter-attack to the counter-attack. I expect this to be an end-to-end. I mean, look at the results here over the last 6. In the FA Cup in 24th of January 2021, 3-2 to Man United. In the Premier League, we've got 4-2 Liverpool, 5-0 Liverpool, 4-0 Liverpool. And then in a friendly this last year in July, it ended 4-0 to Man United. And then in the league, it ended 2-1 to Man United. On the 22nd of August, I know Salah scored that evening. This was an evening game on Monday. Remember Sancho? Sancho scoring the opening goal with an assist from Elanga, and Rashford scoring from Anthony Martial, and it was Mohamed Salah scoring in the 81st minute. The team that day for Man United, we had De Gea in goal, Dalot, Varane, Martinez and Malacia, McTominay and Eriksen in the midfield with Sancho, Fernandes and Elanga behind Marcus Rashford. Liverpool on that night were Robertson, Dijk, Gomez and Trent, Milner, Henderson and Elliott, and Diaz, Firmino and Salah. Well, the front three against Man United will be Jota, Nunez and Salah, I believe. I don't think Gakpo starts. I think that Jota, by all accounts, according to my work colleague that's a Liverpool fan, says that Jota has played really well across the last 2 fixtures. I do think that Jota brings a lot of life to Liverpool, and I do expect him to be starting against Liverpool, against Man United on Sunday. And like I say, I'm expecting that game to be a 3-2, and I'm going to go in the favour of Liverpool only because Man United have been playing so many games. But if it ended 3-2 to Man United, or with Man United win, I would not be shocked because their momentum at the moment is ridiculous. We then come on to Brentford versus Fulham. Yeah, 2 teams that like to keep clean sheets at the moment. And why do I feel this game's going to end up being either a 0-0 or a 1-0 either way? I'm probably going to go with one. I thought it all along, 1-0 to Brentford. I've been thinking that all along. The last 6 fixtures, all of them in the Championship, barring the last time they played each other, which ended 3-2 to Fulham, and one in the League Cup, which ended 3-0 to Brentford. That game, back on, you guessed it, the 20th of August, ended 3-2 to Fulham. High-scoring game. We kicked off with Bobby Decordova-Reid scoring after the first minute. Paulinho scoring in the 20th minute. Pereira getting the assist there. Christian Nogard replying with Jensen with the assist. We then had Tony, Mr. Popular Pick at the moment, scoring with a visor assist, and then Mitrovic scoring in the 90th minute with Kevin Bababu assisting him. And yeah, like I say, I expect in this case though to be quite a low scoring game. Their recent fixtures, Fulham, have essentially been either 0-0 or 1-0, whereas Brentford's fixtures have either been 0-0 or 2-0 at home. So yeah, it's all to play for there. But it's a Monday night football match. Maybe a Captain Tony, always captain the Monday night player, Jason. Maybe go with him potentially. But certainly, from my personal standpoint, I'm just content with this upcoming game week. Like I say, I haven't made a decision on my captaincy yet. Certainly, the popular pick will be Haaland. Obviously, Haaland at home is just a different beast, but we know his recent form hasn't been particularly great. If I look at it here, we have so when it comes to Haaland at home of late, it is as follows. 4 points at home to Aston Villa, because the last 3 fixtures have all been away. So we've got 4 points against Aston Villa, 17 against Wolves, 6 against Tottenham, and then a 6-pointer against Everton, 5 points against Fulham. Whereas in the opening stage of the season, he got 2 17-pointers in a row because of the hat trick. He then got a 23-pointer against Man United. I mean, that is fucking ridiculous. 3 goals and 2 assists. And then he got a 13-pointer for 2 goals against Brighton. When they played Newcastle, it ended, well, like I said, 3-3. He got 6 points. But yeah, of late, Haaland's returns, 10 against Bournemouth, 2 against Nottingham Forest, 6 against Arsenal, and 4 against Aston Villa. That's across the last 4 game weeks. And obviously, the 10 points together, that's 6 points and 4 points against Arsenal and Aston Villa. You know, there's obviously all this talk about does Haaland fit into the system, all this fucking nonsense. And that's what it is. It's just nonsense at the end of the day. And yes, certainly he will obviously be the more popular pick. But just copy Harry. Just copy Harry. That's all you got to do. FPL tips on Twitter and on YouTube, because that's all everybody seems to be doing. And just copy his wildcard team along with everybody else's. It is fucking tragic though. It's the one thing I was actually using this actual example the other day actually to Dan about how sad I find it, all these people now reliant on content creators and the whole, well, whatever they're doing, we're copying. And I was making the point that my friend on Call of Duty, he was legitimately one of the most incredible players I've ever seen in my life. I mean, we are talking a bloke that would just be like, moving along, pop dead, throws a fucking claymore, beep, boom, dead, that's someone else gone, runs along, pop, alright, we got an airstrike, yep, send that in, oh, yes, kill, 3 kills, yep, send in the dogs, yep, we've got the dogs, oh, what's that, an AC-134, right, yeah, hit that in, right, we got another kill streak, yeah, oh, now I'm dead, oh, well, I've got a 23 kill streak anyway, next, runs along, throws a C4, bang, oh, yeah, that's killed 2 people, but because it's on a whatchamacallit, an objective, it means he gets another bonus point, so just brings in the UAV. You get the idea. Ridiculous. And he said, this is the setup that I use. And he showed me his weapon setup, and I was like, right, I'm going to copy that. I couldn't play like him. Because my way of playing Call of Duty, this is Modern Warfare 3 era. The Modern Warfare 3 era, Ghost era, some of those we're talking about 10 years ago now. And my style of play was the sneaky, camouflagey style, walking around, like always using stealth. And I do really well. I always remember him getting really pissed off, actually, during World at War. And he was like, oh, you think you're really good at free-for-all? Do you always winning these matches? Well, give me a match. And we went on a free-for-all match, and I beat him. And he just said, oh, you're camping. And I went, what do you mean I'm camping for? I'm not camping. I just choose to use dead silence. Remember this, dead silence. I had the I didn't have the MP40. I had the GWER rifle, and I became a master of it. And he hated it. He hated the fact that I was going around with dead silence, had the GWER, and I'd win the free-for-all, and he hated it. He threw his toys out the pram. Because he was up against someone that wasn't the typical noob, as the kids say, where it's just all gun-ho. It's, no, I'm playing this strategically. I was remembering World at War, actually, like just scouring the map and just going with this is why my team is called the Mosin Nagin, scouring the map as I'm going around on that. Remember CeeLo? I used to be the master at capture the flag as well. And especially on like the likes of CeeLo, and I'd have dead silence, my Mosin Nugget and everything, and I'd just be like the assassin, going around the whole map with the flag and everything, and no one knew where I was. This is before they changed the game to make it easy for everybody. This is when they actually when someone had the flag. You know, nowadays it's, oh, that person's got the flag and you see him on the radar. Even though there's no UAV or anything, now we can still see it. No. Back then, you had to get a spy plane before you could see where the flag was. But because our team was so dominant, or because the teams that I was in were so dominant, I would just sneak around the map and everything, get the flag, run away. You get the idea with that. the point I'm trying to get at is that if I use GB setup, nowhere near do as well as what I was doing from my own point of view. And, you know, like I say, I think there's, for a lot of people, when you play your own game, number one, it's more enjoyable, but number two, actually, you probably do a lot better. Like I say, if I actually stuck to my own thought processes, like Bilal says, Steve-O's thought processes are actually there. He just doesn't go through with it. I'm not suggesting I'd be anywhere near Harry, for example. In fact, I'd be nowhere near Harry. But I reckon rather than being, you know, whatever I am now, 800,000th, probably be about 500,000th. Something like that. Like I said, it was nothing major, but certainly with my rival with Jason, it'd be a lot more closer. Maybe he'd be ahead by about 20 points instead of 60. Because I remember another time when GB showed me a weapon setup, and he said it was the one where you could get all the perks. So rather than getting a kill streak, you would get, so for instance, you get 3 kills, you get a perk. And then the next three kills, you get another perk, and so on and so forth. And you almost became like the Terminator. I remember in Modern Warfare 3, I was just like, this is fucking insane. Like, you'd be on like a 10 kill streak and just like feeling like the Terminator because you've got, you know, 4 or 5 extra perks with you. The problem is, though, is that GB was amazing with it. People like me, it wasn't my style of game. I wasn't like this gung-ho attack. I was just like, no, I'm Mr. Stealth. I want to be just gradually moving forward. Pop, yeah. Hide, quickly hide. Calm down, right. Slowly move out. Bang, bang. What's this got to do with fantasy football? Nothing. But yeah, certainly, I really do hope that over the next couple of game weeks, my plan pays off. You know, like I say, this specific game week, it has. I mean, even if I had the team from last week going into this particular game week here, you know, I would be playing obviously Salah and Darwin. So it'd be Salah, Darwin, João Felix and Haaland. João Felix, Christ almighty. But I would probably be getting rid of him for Tony. So it'd be Tony, Darwin and Haaland. And then it would be Rashford, Odegaard, Salah and Mahrez. And then Shaw, Ake and Trippier. Because I wouldn't be playing Bueno at all. And I wouldn't be playing Botman. So yeah, it would be Shaw, Ake and Trippier. But Shaw's away at Man United. Ake, okay, there's the problem with Ake, rotation risk. And then Trippier, well, there's a very high chance he gets just a 2-pointer. But yeah, I'm just, like I say, moving forward, I'd like to think that it's going to slowly pay off. And yeah, let's just hope that this specific game week we continue with this, well, specifically in my case, and some fortune. I'll be certainly putting my bets on for the history. Of course, this week it all completely fell flat on its face. I lost £15, although yesterday, of the £5 that I did win back, I put of that £3 on bets, and then I won, I think just over £4 last night. So I'm up by a further £2. So I'm down by about £13 over the weekend. Annoyingly, last night I had an accumulator where it was Arsenal, Liverpool, Sheffield United, Burnley, and West Ham. Yeah, I did an accumulator where I put a couple of the outsiders in this specific case, West Ham and Sheffield United. And of course, West Ham completely cocked it up. But certainly, I'm a bit gutted that we're away at the Etihad. It would have been amazing in the FA Cup for Burnley to be facing Man City at our place. I still think we would lose at Turf Moor to Man City, but certainly the game at the Etihad. I was hoping maybe a day out at Wembley, maybe get a bit of an easier fixture like against Man United. But certainly the two teams I wanted to avoid, and I'm stating the obvious, were Man United and Man City. Obviously, we get Man City away from home, so they're through already. But that match is going to be a fascinating test, because obviously the way Company has got our team playing at the moment is just out of this world. I'm absolutely blown away, as we all know, how well Burnley are playing at the moment. But unfortunately, I see Man City, if they really want to, absolutely decimate us. And I'd probably put that down as a 2-3, maybe 4-0, maybe even a 5-0, unfortunately. Because the quality of their player is just going to absolutely destroy us. But anyway, we'll get to that more near the time. On that note, as ever, if you do want to support myself and Jason, the easiest way to do so is just, hitting a like button. But if you want to support us financially, putting your hand in your pocket for $1.99 a month, you can become a member. And you get like personalised videos and all that nonsense. But no, in all seriousness, we will see you on... I will certainly see you on Saturday for the 3 p.m. kickoffs. I'll be doing them. And may all our fortunes continue. On that note, stop copying content creators. Play your own game. See you later.